It's good to be back. You know, there's been a lot of work, just whether it's conditioning or weightlifting or leadership, mentoring, and everything to get to this point. And so I think in terms of a calendar, maybe not a whole lot of time since we've been off the field, but it sure seems like we've been investing a lot. And so, it was good to see a lot of that pay off. I thought like tempo was really good. I thought guys were taking care of each other. Not me versus you in a practice, but me with you, trying to push you to get better, and you push me to get better. And we'll see where that goes once the pads come on, and it becomes more pressure and competitive and all that. But I thought it was good. I thought we were able to get a bunch of guys reps, and they were fighting through the elements and all of it. So thought a good first day.
Dave, was it different at all coming off a Big 12 championship, Sugar Bowl win? Different atmosphere at all?
No,
No.
it was. I think the focus of hey, this is our team, right? The past is the past. The future is what we make it. And I think I think sometimes with young people there's a tendency, and I can remember being this way too, is that hey, when I get my shot, right, when I'm in the seat or when I'm in the position or when it's my job, right, I'm gonna act like this or I'm gonna get this done. And I just think there's always kind of a kick the can down the road, as opposed to putting in the work, right, wherever you're at. And each day is an opportunity to get better. Each day is trial and error of being a better person. And I just think it's a fight to get. I think it's more conducive to kind of chilling if you're kicking it down the road, as opposed to the grind of living inside out. And so that's the challenge. And we're in those battles a lot right now.
Dave, with obviously there's turnover every year on a roster, but when you come in with as much as you guys have back on the offensive line and defensive line, how much of a comfort level does that give you with where this team could be headed down the road?
I appreciate the question. I think there is really strong positives that can come from it. I think, right away when you ask the question, my mind goes to just the different. I mean, we've got, say, with the O-line and D-line guys coming back, I would look at it as, man, there's dudes that were grad assistants that are that was last year, and now they're a full-time coach. Or we've got guys that are full-time coaches that are now, coordinators, right? And so, like, I think the roles are different, right? What we're asking from them, right, is new and improved. And I think their change is difficult, and change is never easy to embrace. But I think for us to go where we want to go and to be who we need to be, we need to be able to take that change. And so it's good that guys are back, but we need them to be at their best, and that requires them, kind of emerging from where they've been.
Coach, how do you deal with a situation at quarterback where you have a guy coming in the spring who won you a Big 12 champion, or was the quarterback for a Big 12 championship win, and you have a guy who was the quarterback for a Sugar Bowl win, and how you kind of deal with giving enough reps and all the things that go into that?
Yeah, they rotated all throughout today, and they'll Thursday will be the same. And I think they're competing against each other, and I think Sean does a great job of fostering that and managing that, and I think they do a great job of embracing that. I think for me, just learning from the past and the mistakes that I've made in terms of managing all of it. I think you always want to come in, if you are not the guy, you always want to come in with an opportunity to show what you can do, and if you do it, have an opportunity to play. And I think that's something that I think is real, and something that needs to be appreciated. And we want to do a good job of seeing that. And so, getting guys reps and mixing guys with different groups and really making it competitive, I think will bring out the best.
What would be best
treat
for
that-
you to get the decision made? Like, is it after spring? Are you comfortable taking it into the fall? What would you want to happen?
Yeah, I think you'd like to do it at the end of spring. I think for Blake to be given an opportunity, and then for Gary to kind of assert himself is really kind of what's happening. And so I think it's fair to both of them. I think it only will make Blake and or Gary better, and so we're embracing it.
Do you treat it as a blank slate, or do you come in with taking into account what Gary did as a starter for 11 games last year?
Yeah, I think Gary's got to come in and just continue to improve, and then Blake's got to come in and outplay him. And so I think he's given that opportunity, and like all of that's kind of been laid out and talked about, and he's attacking it. So I appreciate that.
Dave, you're going to have some new guys at running back, or some guys who hadn't played a lot. What do you think of that room?
I think there is a lot of raw talent in that room. I think there is a great there's great potential in that room. I think it's very young, and I think one of the things that we were searching for last year in that room was just kind of that fighter, mentality. I'm gonna attack you, right? I'm not gonna be, avoiding a hit or waiting to get hit. I'm gonna go and finish a run and fall forward. And I think with Tresson Ebner, we were able to, Juice, give all the credit to Juice. I thought he did a great job of fostering that, and Ebner was able to play that. I remember there was games at the end of, on the sideline, where he's, falling forward on guys, and our sideline's energized, and that was some time coming, but, I think Ebner's better for it moving forward. And then I thought, Abram Smith was moved over for that reason too, and I think we're in that phase right now of that's what we need for this offense, is someone that's going to look to dish out punishment rather than receive it or avoid it. And so we'll see when pads come on where it goes.
You moved Josh there. What was the reasoning behind that, Josh Fleets?
Yeah, so I think he's got the ability to give us some of the things that Ebner gave us last year, but then I think he could also be, a true, like, the guy, right? First, second, as well as third down. I think he's got great vision. There's a toughness about him. There's a chip on his shoulder, and I think he's got a great heart. I think his, you look at Josh and his just maturity and his improvement just as a person. I'm a big fan of his, and I really want to see him be successful, and I want to see his goals achieved, and excited to see the spring for him.
Dave, what are maybe one or two specific goals you have for this group this spring?
Yeah, so number one for us, we have three, is to own the standard, and so that's off the field and on the field. And so off the field, be class, integrity, academic excellence. I think there's, we probably didn't start as well as we wanted to academically, and so we're really pushing to finish strong with school. And then, I think on the field, it's energy and edge and execution. I think, guys were given energy and fighting through it, all of it, and I think that's such a huge piece. I look forward, to our season coming up, and just the games that we're on the road, and it's just going to be, just our traveling party versus whatever else, and we have to create our own energy, man. And you just like anything else, it's reps and practice and all that. Then I think the number two would be we, not me, and so that would be in spring ball, right? Me with you, not me versus you. And so it's not an O versus D thing or DBs versus a receiver thing. It's guys pushing each other to get better. And then along with that too, it becomes like, certain guys just in terms of buying in and being a part of all of it, because I think sometimes, some of the things we're asking off the field is probably a bit much when it's just, football that's in their front sight, So it's like, hey, dude, you can be you, man, but align with us. Like, totally, like, I think the worst thing would be if we're just getting a bunch of, like, Dave Arandas. I mean, how, like, boring and brutal would that be if we're just, like, recreating that, And so I think, like, guys totally being themselves, but aligning with us, right, at our standards and all of it, I think is important. And 3 would be, it doesn't matter, get better. And so, the adversity and the pressure that we want to create, we have to execute in those situations, so that when we get to the Novembers and the Decembers and all of it, it's secondhand.
Coach, as you
Just the last question.
come into year 3 now, is it more that, okay, I want this spring to start at a more advanced position than last spring did and the spring before that? Or do you say, okay, we got to get back to basics, regardless of whether it's spring 3 or spring 1?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I appreciate that. So it would be back to basics, because I think, like a great example would be, I mean, we cannot, or at least I believe, we cannot assume that anything's taught or anything's a given or anything's understood. We have to teach it all, And so if there's like a unit teach period and there's a group that's on the field and they're being drilled in something, right, we really have to work on the guys that aren't in the drill or paying attention to the drill, right, and they're locked into the drill because, I mean, it could be a Gary Bohannon and Blake Shapen situation where just like that, right, now you're in and now you got to roll and now you have to execute. And so if that thing is broken and not working, then you don't get the standard and you don't get the execution that you want. And so all of those things are just foundational, basic things. I mean, it's a lot of them are simple to do, but they're simple to say, but they're difficult to do, especially day in, day out.